French meat.
Welcome back, folks, to the dark times of the WWE. As you can see, over the past few months, the Canadian Cartel have been doing work. First up in the tag team scene, Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit were in a tag team tournament, and their first round is against Hit Row. As you can see here, we got the walls of Jericho and the sharpshooter applied. Ashante the Adonis taps out. He's eliminated. Then it was down to Top Dollar to see what he could do against the Canadian Cartel. As you can see, he was no match for Chris Jericho's walls of Jericho as Chris Benoit is taunting him. Then in the second round, we have the superhero team of the Hurricane and Plant Man, always 420 for him, against Jericho and Benoit. And as you can see in the ring there, multiple German suplexes to Hurricane. Benoit gets the pin and the elimination. Then it was just down to Plant Man on a 2-on-1 handicap, and as you can see, just like Top Dollar, he didn't do so well. This time he tapped out to the sharpshooter. So then they headed into the finals against Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy. And folks, this was filmed prior to Bray Wyatt's death. As you can see here, Uncle Howdy gets rolled up. Then it was just down to Benoit and Jericho in a handicap against Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt did what he could. As you can see, he's got the mandible claw on Jericho. I almost thought he was done after this, but then the ref had to get the steel steps out of the ring. And I'm kind of suspicious as why Chris Benoit didn't break up the pin there. I mean, obviously he would have been disqualified, but could you imagine if Jericho would have got pinned there? It would have been some tension. As you can see, the ref trying to get the steel steps out. Benoit thought he was slick, thought he distracted the ref, but then he got disqualified. So then it became a one-on-one with Jericho and Bray Wyatt. So it got a little intense here in the finals. As you saw there, Bray Wyatt hitting Chris Jericho with the Sister Abigail. Like I said, I honestly thought that Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy were gonna be the new tag team champions, but Bray had some demons going on in his head here, which allowed Jericho to get the upper hand. I think Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy would have done good as tag team champs, but unfortunately, as you know now, the reign of terror with the Canadian Cartel is among us, because as you can see here, Bray Wyatt trying his best to power out of the walls of Jericho, but it was too much. Taps out, and yeah, we got new tag team champions, Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. First time we've seen new tag champs since 8-Ball and Colonelangus won them for the first time. They never ever defended them, so maybe we'll see them defended. Unlikely, but later that night we saw the finals for the tournament for the Intercontinental Championship as Humberto took on the Canadian Kid. Now, we were all wondering who the Canadian Kid was because Christian said that he was going to be challenging for the title, but he said he didn't want to get his hands dirty. He said he was too good for the Intercontinental Championship, so he would be managing the Canadian Kid. As you can see, good marketing. Bring your A game. Now, folks, I know it's been some time, but as you all know, we haven't seen Colonelangus in a couple of months after Christian made his return. While Colonel was in a ladder match against Edge, Christian's longtime best friend, and as you all remember, Colonel was just inches away from becoming the new WWE champion, but Christian fucked him over. And as you see, the finals for the Intercontinental Championship that was relinquished because of Colonel's untimely death at WrestleMania, even though he would come back not long after. But as you can see here, Humberto and Canadian Kid, they started off strong. Get some technical wrestling in there. This Canadian Kid really impressed me here. Even though he was being managed by Christian, he showed a lot of promise. Quick offense by Canadian Kid. You can see how agile he is. There he's showing his heel side with the steel chair. showing why he's a part of the Canadian Cartel. Oh, God. And as you can see, the fatigue of this Intercontinental Championship tournament setting in. Canadian kid's probably not used to all this wrestling. This is his debut here tonight. Already wrestled 3 matches all the way into the finals. And as you can see, it's all Canadian kid here. He's putting on quite the showing. And there you see him hit his finisher. But before he can go for the pin, his manager Christian comes in looking to get some up close and personal coaching. But oh, look at that. Christian doing what he does best, fucking over the people that he loves. Hits Umberto with the Imperator, becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. And that brings us to tonight. The Canadian Cartel making their way to the ring as Colonel makes his return for the first time since SummerSlam. Oh, wait a second. I'm getting news that Colonel's actually in the 1800s. We're going to send it on over to Colonel. Back to you, Colonel. Good seeing you, buddy.
Bryce, welcome. Welcome, I've been waiting. See, the Survivor Series is coming up. The Mitowang Gang will be taking on the Canadian Cartels, or whatever they call themselves. A band of puss-ass motherfuckers. The Mitowang Gang is more than a faction. It is what pathetic groups like the Canadian Cartel aspire to be. No matter where we are, or what time we are in, the Mitowang Gang is known far and wide. Don't sleep on the MWG, because when you wake, the last thing you may ever hear is the sound of the 8-ball shotgun as he sends hot lead through your skull. Benoit, the Crippler. Do you think you are safe with your pathetic band of Canadian meat sacks? I know you are fucking crazy, but seriously? The only person who will be crippled will be you after I break my pipe off in your asshole and send hot jizz through your spine like a shotgun blast. Christian, you really think you are one of the greatest wrestlers of all the times, don't you? That you belong on the Mount Rushmores of wrestlings. I mean, maybe if we're talking about the Mount Rushmores of riding coattails. Let's face it, you are nothing without edge. Sure, you can be on the Mount Rushmores, so long as they carve you kneeling down beneath me, eagerly waiting for me to unload some fresh hot ropes of frothy ejaculate into your mouth. And the Jericho, the man who made famous a less painful Boston crab. You want a piece of me? Well, then come and get it. I mean, seriously, you can hit this. I've seen what you look like in the future, and, it's not so good. It's now or never, bruh. And finally, Edge. What you did to 8-Ball at WrestleMania, and what you did to me at SummerSlammings, will not go unpunished. I set out to honor the 8-Ball, the greatest WWE champion of all the times, and I was within moments of doing exactly that. But you had your Canadian cronies waiting in the wings to stop me at any cost. I am finished with the disrespect. WWE Universe, prepare to say goodbye to the rated R super bitch. Edge, I'm gonna cornhole you all the way to hell with a piping hot AIDS-riddled cock meat sandwich. Retirement will have a whole new meaning by the time we are finished with you. MWG for life. And remember, folks, when I'm not pole smoking, I'm smoking redwood cigarettes. The only way to smoke like a colonel. That's all I got.